welcome back to my channel. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Teresa. I am a mother of two. I have just had our second baby girl, who is now 7 weeks. Her name is Lily, and I also have a 3-year-old who is called Holly. So I mainly do videos on motherhood and lifestyle and things like that. So welcome. If you're not new, if you've seen my videos before, thank you for coming back. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Grab yourself a cuppa or a hot chocolate or a nice drink and settle in. I will apologise for the lighting. I'm hoping the lighting doesn't go in and out and funny. I'm in my daughter's bedroom today. Different backdrop than usual because it seems to be the only place that has quite a lot of floor space, which I know sounds quite ironic because she's a 3-year-old. But we generally try and keep this room as tidy as we can. I needed a bit of floor space for this video, so new backdrop. It's actually quite cute, I think. It's quite cute, little pink. I painted this all myself. Okay, so today's video, I've seen lots of these kind of batting around, and I thought I would do my own take on one, and it's newborn essentials and essentials for after childbirth. I've already said I'm a mum of 2, so I've done this before, and what I found when I was pregnant with Holly, who was my first, there were so many videos on what you should have, what you need, yada yada yada, and you can get so overwhelmed with actually stuff you really don't need, and you can waste money on stuff you really don't need. We obviously had a lot of stuff ready for Lily that was Holly's. We were in limbo though, because actually we didn't know if we were having a boy or a girl. We kept the sex a surprise until we had baby. So and we knew after we had Holly was also a surprise. We didn't find out what we were having then. And I knew that we weren't going to find out the second time. We knew we always wanted a second child. So everything of Holly's has gone up in the loft just in case, and if we had a boy we would then just sell it. So a lot of these things, or some of these things, we have used again. Some of these things are new and I've only just used them with Lily. And yeah, so without further ado, let's get into it, and I'll show you the things that I have found this time that we're using a lot of and we would be pretty stuck without. So first of all, I'm going to talk about mum stuff, things that you might need for you. Now, first thing I have found really handy, and I got this for labour actually, is I don't know if you'll be able to see it, it's quite big because I'm quite big. It's a button down nightie. Now I got this one from Simply Be. I have lived in this, I have washed it by the way, but I love it so much I'm literally washing it in the morning and tumble drying it and having it for the evening, because it's at the moment, what month are we? We are January, so Lily was born at 20th of December. It was cold, so it's long sleeved, and most importantly it buttons down. It's nice and big and baggy as well, which I don't like to be restricted in bed. I hate that. So bought it for labour. I did wear it when, after we had her and went up to the ward, I changed into this I think, and it was really comfy then, and it's really handy if you're going to breastfeed. However you feed your baby, first of all I will say, fed is best. No judgment here for anything. It really winds me up when women don't support each other with how they feed their babies. So, but I have been really lucky with both Holly and Lily, and well, touch wood so far, seems to be going well. And I've managed to exclusively breastfeed, and I breastfed Holly exclusively probably to about 3 months maybe, and then her latch started, we introduced a bottle, and I think she started to get lazy. I think she was like, oh, why am I working so hard on mummy's boob when actually I could just take a bottle and it's really easy. So she started to get a bit lazy. So what I did then is introduce the formula in the day, and she had a bottle in the day, but I continued to breastfeed her at night, because we didn't have a Tommee Tippee prep machine. We would have had to go down and sort the bottle out, and I wasn't in that mindset because I'd just been used to getting up in the night, taking her into the nursery and popping her on the boob. So I carried on feeding her through the night until about, what I said in my head, I'll feed her until she doesn't want to feed in the night anymore, and that was about 4.5 months. So I've been really lucky, and with Lily it seems to be going really well, exclusively breastfeeding with Lily as well. But like I say, we'll go on to formula when the time's right for us, and for anybody who doesn't breastfeed, that's fine. Don't feel pressured to do anything you don't want to do, but also if you do want to do it, there's loads of support out there as well, because it is hard. We'll go on to breastfeeding in a minute, but this is brilliant for feeding, because all I do is I button down and I pop my boob out, and it's done. I'll try and link this from the Simply Boob website or something similar in my descriptions below. In fact, well, I'll link everything that I mention in my descriptions below, so that if you fancy looking to see how much they are, or if you want to get them, then the link is there for you. I have to say, you could probably, if you're a smaller size, if you're not plus size, you could probably find these everywhere. If you're plus size, obviously, yes, the internet is much better, fashion is much better, companies are grabbing onto plus size stuff much more now, but it's still tough if you have a specific thing that you need to look for. So I'll find some and I'll link them down below. The second thing I find really good are these sleep bras. Da-da! Sexy, sexy. They are not sexy in any way, shape or form, but they are incredibly comfortable. So they've got a really nice band. I don't know if you can see that stretchy band across there. I started wearing these during pregnancy because I was finding that my breasts were rock hard, and when I would turn over, it was just like uncomfortable and sore. And I don't usually wear anything to bed. I probably should, because I'm very big chested. So I started wearing these during pregnancy with Holly, pulled them back out, got some new ones for Lily. I wanted to give birth in one of these, but I didn't have time. Didn't have time to get my other bra off because she flew out. These are so great, they're so comfy, and all I do is just pop on when I go to bed, and they're so stretchy that I can just pull it down when I want to feed her, and undo my nightie, pull my top down, she's on my boob, and it's great. So they're really good. They were Simply Bee as well. I think they're a pack of 2. They're really soft, they're really comfortable. I am a double G cup, and these fit me really well, but I think the sizing, yeah, the sizing is like your normal dress sizes actually. So I'm a double G cup size, and I went for a 2022 in these, and it's fine, it's really comfortable, it's really perfect. So I will also link those below if you're interested in getting some of those, really comfy. Okay, let's go on to breastfeeding. Whew. I now know I had a really easy ride with Holly with breastfeeding. With Lily, not so much. I suffered really badly with mastitis with Lily, really badly. In those first 3 weeks, it was tough. Ended up having to call a doctor, and I was on antibiotics for a week, and that seemed to sort it out. I tried everything before the antibiotics, and what I would probably say is maybe don't. I mean, try stuff obviously, but if the pain is not going, don't soldier on. Just ring the doctor and get antibiotics, because oh my word, I know they say keep feeding through mastitis. The pain when she went on, I was sat in tears. It is the worst thing. When your body is healing anyway, when you're trying to adjust to feeding and she's getting used to feeding as well, it is so difficult getting mastitis. It was a really hard time. So I put something on Instagram, and somebody I know messaged me, and she actually said, have you heard of these? So these are by Lansinoh. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Lansinoh, not sure. So these are called the Lansinoh Thermapearl. What is it? Thermapearl 3-in-1 breast therapy for breastfeeding mums. I'd never heard of them. I hadn't heard of them at all. When you speak to your midwife about, I think I'm getting mastitis, I've got a bit of pain, it's a bit red, it's a bit lumpy, they basically give you lots of things to try. I think the cabbage was one which I didn't ever get around to trying, but the main one was a warm flannel, so warm compress on there basically, and she kept telling me warm flannels. I just found them useless, because as soon as you've warmed them, you put the flannel on, it's wet, so everything else gets wet and damp and yuck, and it doesn't actually stay warm for very long. It goes cold really quickly, and that was my main issue. These bad boys are amazing. So inside of here, they're also really good for, engorged breasts. So if your breasts are engorged and you just feel like you need a little relief, you can use them cold. So you pop this insert, if I take it out now, if you can see, it's got like a little Velcro tab there, and then this clips together here. So you take the insert out, da-da, and it looks like this. So it's got all these little pearls in here. I'm hoping that that's focusing and that you can see hundreds and hundreds of little pearls that heat up. You pop this in the microwave if it's or the freezer if you wanted it cold, but if it's for mastitis they say warm, and you literally pop it in. I'm pretty sure it was 8 seconds or something like that, because I didn't quite believe it. So I did double the first time, and don't do that, burns your boob, silly mistake. Go by what it says on here. Let me see if I can find, let me just put my glasses on. Yeah, so it gives you different timings. So 700 watt microwave, 16 seconds. A 1000 watt microwave, 13 seconds. And a 1250 watt microwave is 11 seconds. Go by what they say, because and when you take it out, you won't feel like it's that warm. You'll be like, well, this hasn't worked, I'll put it in for a bit longer. Don't do that. It will be warm. It will go warm, I promise. So you warm it up and then you pop it back in the pouch. I need some elevator music. There we go. So you pop it back in the pouch, clip it back together, and then you pop it in your, I'm going to kind of, let me push mine, there we go, so you can see. You pop it in your bra so it sits on your boob like that with the nipple coming out there. Now, I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. That's how I put it in, and that worked perfectly for me. And it is brilliant. You don't even know. I kept forgetting that it was on. I was just a bit like, oh gosh, what's that? Oh gosh, I've still got that on. It is the most comfortable thing, and it gives the best relief from mastitis, and you don't need to worry about it slipping anywhere like a wet flannel would do, wet warm flannel. Honestly, Jenny was amazing. Jenny found them, bless her. She's like, I think I've still got some, and I was ready to go on Amazon and get them because I was so desperate for anything for them. She found them, she dropped them at my door, and she was like my angel at that point. So thank you, Jenny, if you're watching this. They're just brilliant. Now on Amazon at the moment, I think they're like £10, £10.39. They're usually £12.99. They're on Prime, so you can get them the next day. Again, I'll pop a link. I cannot recommend them enough. I would probably say, if you're thinking I want to give breastfeeding a real good go, get them anyway, because you could sell them on to somebody if breastfeeding isn't for you, or you don't take to it very well, or if you don't suffer with any mastitis or any kind of pain or any engorging and you don't use them, sell them on, have them in your wardrobe, have them in your drawer, ready to go, because I can't tell you enough how great these were. So that's the first thing. The second thing, I haven't actually used this very much this time, because we seem to be doing okay. I did have cracked nipples a little bit as well. She did make me bleed at one point. This is the best nipple cream. I think they've changed the packaging since I bought this one. So this is, again, Lansinoh, for sore nipples and cracked skin. Now, with Holly, and I think a little bit with Lily, I use this after every single feed, regardless of whether I was feeling sore or not in the first few weeks. And I tell you, I think that's probably why I never had any problems with Holly, because I was using this. It is so good. And when I had a cracked nipple with Lily, I started using this within a day. The pain had gone. It was much better, much easier. So this is a go-to. It's not the cheapest nipple cream, but I think don't be fooled by a cheap nipple cream. If you want something to really work and you don't want to be in pain and you want to try and make breastfeeding a bit easier, don't put barriers in the way by choosing a different nipple cream. Just go for some really, really good stuff, and this is brilliant. Let me check how much it is. So it's on Amazon for £7.99. Down from £9.99 for 40ml. Is that what this is? 40ml, yeah. That lasts a long time. It's brilliant stuff. I'd always recommend this. So that's the mummy stuff done. Let's talk about the baby stuff. First things first, you're going to need something for your baby to sleep in, obviously. We are Moses basket people. We were with Holly. We have been with Lily as well. We don't co-sleep. It was just a decision we wanted to make ourselves, that we weren't going to co-sleep. One, because we'd heard dangerous things about co-sleeping. no judgment for anybody that co-sleeps, because actually if it gets to the point where you have a screaming baby, you just do whatever you can to get the baby to sleep and be comfortable. But more so for us, it was actually, we wanted our bed to be our bed. You know, your life changes when you have a baby, it does. And your relationship with your husband or your partner changes when you have a baby. And I don't think many people talk about that enough, actually. And one of my best friends said that to me before I had kids. She said, and that's something that somebody doesn't tell you, your relationship with your husband changes. And so we had that conversation, and we were very much from the start, we want our bed to be our bed. You know, you do enough for your kids, you make them comfy, cosy in every other way. Keep your bed as your sanctuary is what I was feeling for me and for Chris. So we've never co-slept. We didn't co-sleep with Holly. We haven't co-slept with Lily. So we are Moses basket people. So, but there are loads of other options. So there's next to me cribs that you can go with. I don't know what, I think because of the room in our bedroom, we didn't think about getting a next to me crib. There are obviously the sleepy head options. I know that you really shouldn't be leaving them in there overnight, because it's been linked to a lot of cot deaths, because of the bumpers on it. Newborns could turn and they can't shift themselves back around again, so they could suffocate. So we do have a sleepy head, but we put them in it, both of them, when we're downstairs. They're just napping and we're with them all the time. However, neither of them really liked it that much, because they're both sleepers like this. They like their space and they like their room. So the Moses basket was the best thing for us. We have I would show you now, but Lily's actually asleep in it. So we have a Clair de Lune Moses basket. There are many cheaper options out there than that. I think I got it half price, that's why we went for it. And it was £50 with the stand. And the only reason we went for that and not a cheaper one, Chris, I really wanted this. Chris was like, let's just get a cheaper one, get a second-hand one. And we've got the mattress from Holly, we'll just use that again. Lily is going to have so many hand-me-downs from Holly. Nothing for this baby, bless her, was going to be new. And I was like, I just really want a new Moses basket. The one we had from Holly was given to me by my best friend, Sarah. Thank you. And it was perfect. It was brilliant. It did her for the time that she was in it. It was amazing. And it saved us money from, because when you have your first baby, you've got to get your pram, you've got to get everything. So it saved us quite a lot of money. But for this time round, I was just like, oh, I just want a new Moses basket for her. Well, for the baby, didn't know what she was then. So that's why we went with a new one, and I was being a bit fussy about the one I wanted, and I wanted grey wicker and just crisp white bedding around it, and the Clair de Lune one was the one that did it up for me, really. It's really, really cute. If I can, I will pop, oh, I just burped. So sorry. If you're not fussed about having a brand new one, go second hand. They are brilliant. What I would say is get a new mattress, because you know where it's been, you know how many times it's been led on. So get a new mattress, but get second hand. You can get second hand Moses baskets that are perfect. And actually I'd say second hand for a lot of stuff. Don't feel like you have to buy new everything. Having a baby is really, really expensive, especially first time round. And there is nothing wrong with second-hand stuff. We live off of charity shop clothes for Holly, and now Lily will get those as well for hand-me-downs. So, just don't be too posh about it. The other thing with sleeping, I'm going to go and get now. I think she's asleep, so I can nick it off her now, so I will be back. Okay, I think she's asleep. She's kind of doing like her eyes open a bit weird thing, but she does do that. I might have to run this back into her if she wakes up. Okay, so this is the Tommee Tippee Ollie the Owl, and it's basically a white noise soother settler thing. We couldn't get Lily to settle in the day to have a nap early on, and found that tried white noise and it was perfect. But what I was ending up doing is putting on my phone and balancing my phone on her Moses basket, safely I will say, and then I didn't have my phone for anything, and I used my phone for quite a lot of stuff. So we bought Ollie the Owl. How cute is he? He's so cute, and my God, he's my lifesaver at the moment. So he plays, it's done by Tommee Tippee, but there's also, you can get You and the Sheep and all sorts of other white noise ones. He was on Amazon for £35, I think I got him for. I think you could get the cheaper one for £25, which is a battery one. This one is a rechargeable one, and it also, I think because this is the deluxe, I'm not sure if the battery one has this. You'll have to have a look. I'll link them both below so you can have a look. But this one has a cry sensor as well, which is a lifesaver. So if I talk you through it, each of its feet, paws, whatever you want to call them, wings. This would be a wing on an owl, wouldn't it? Do something. Okay, so this one here, in here, it plays waterfall or white noise, which is what we used with her like very early on, or a heartbeat sound. So when she was really newborn, that's what we used. We used the heartbeat sound and the white noise sound. It worked really well. Now she's loving the lullabies, which is on this hand here. So there's 3 types of lullabies that you can have, and I set this on. Cute, nice little lullaby sound, and put her in a Moses basket, and 9 times out of 10 in the day, not in the evening, she can get herself off to sleep with this, and a little gentle rock, sometimes even not. I've just left her and she's gone off. There's 3 different lullabies. Twinkle Twinkle is my favourite. This one is not my favourite because it's really repetitive, but that's just the music person in me not liking it. So that's the lullabies. On the feet, what have we got on the feet? So we've got a night light, I don't know if you can see that, and there's 3 types of brightness there. It doesn't give off much light, but it gives her something to look at, which is quite nice. And then this one is the volume, so that you can get loudest, it goes quiet, and then turns off. If you have it off, that's it, it's off. If you, this is the beauty of this with the cry sensor. So if I set my lullabies, I can't show you because it now goes in a 20-minute cycle of playing the lullabies for 20 minutes. Then it will go silent. And basically then if Lily wakes up, starts crying or makes a noise, whilst it's silent and once it's on this mode, the lullabies just kick straight back in. And she settles herself back to sleep without me having to go up and sort her out. So it is brilliant. This one's brilliant, but I'm not sure if the cheaper one has that cry sensor on it. But I would say this has been a lifesaver for us. She has got used to the sound of the lullabies, and she knows now that actually if I hear my lullaby sound, that's when I go to sleep. Let's turn this off. They do pandas. They do, I don't know what else they do. They do loads of different animals, but I just like the owl. It's really cute. Our little Ollie the Owl. It hangs on the side. It's got a Velcro hook like that. So I hang it on the outside of her Moses basket, and then when she goes in her cot, it'll go on the outside of her cot as well. Oh no, I'm running out of battery. I might have to finish this off later. Oh, that's a bit close now. Hi everyone, sorry, apologies if the camera angle is different. My battery on my battery on my camera died, so I had to quickly charge it, and now I've come back. Lily's taking her afternoon nap. So okay, so the next thing I was going to talk about was thermometer. Now you can get thermometers in anywhere essentially, but we have this Tommee Tippee no touch thermometer. Now we didn't start off having this with Holly. When she was baby, we had just the ones that you pop under her arm, which is fine when they're a newborn. But what we found is that it was getting really tricky when she was a bit more wriggly. You have to go under the clothes and under the arm and hold the arm there. So it's just a little bit harder. And as she got older and older, it got harder. And I saw this one. I think Rosie Ramsey used it on Instagram on her son. And it happened to be for a good price, I think possibly on Amazon. So we got it. And the great thing about this is you just hold it to the baby's head or child's head, press the start button, it will beep at you, and it will give you their temperature. It will flash green if it's fine, it will flash red if it's not. And I think it saves, I haven't delved too deep into this, I must admit I just use it really simply to take the temperature, but I think it saves the last lot of temperatures on here as well, so you can go back and check. Yeah, I need to read more of what it does, because it does do more than I use it for. But ultimately it's a thermometer. You're going to need a thermometer definitely when you have a baby, because you need to check for fevers, etc. But especially at the moment, every household should be having one of these anyway. It's also quite handy when they're asleep. You don't want to be waking them up by trying to put something under their arm, so this is quite helpful that we can just go in the evenings and we can take their temperature without touching them or waking them up, which is great. Speaking of temperatures, the next thing I'm going to talk about is bath stuff, a couple of bath things. Now, this is a cute little bath thermometer and room thermometer actually. This one does room and bath. This I got from Tesco, really cheap. I think it was £5. And all you do is you place it in the bath when you're running the bath, and it will come up to temperature, and it will tell you what the temperature of the bath is. But the good thing about it is, I don't know if you can see right at the top there, is that focusing in? Let me come behind there. Hopefully that's focusing in. You can see that it's got a bath or a drop of water and a room, and it tells you the perfect temperature for the bath and the room, which for the room is 19 degrees, for the bath is no more than 37. If it goes over 37 in the bath, I haven't used it in the room yet, but if it goes over 37 in the bath, this little top bit here, oh, can you see there's a little like light, that will flash red and it will come up saying hot. And this has been really good. We didn't have one of these with Holly, we just used our elbow really, but she hated the bath. She used to scream and scream and scream when we got in the bath. And it's not until now where I'm realising, the reason we got this now is because Holly and Lily shared baths when we first started bathing Lily. Holly doesn't like Lily to share her bath now because she thinks she's a bit boring, and obviously if Lily does a wee, Holly needs to come out and we need to change bath water, so it annoys her. So every now and again she's like, not with Lily, don't want a bath with Lily, I'll have a bath on my own. But because we were sharing the baths, I was a bit like, well, Holly would have her bath a little bit hotter, a little bit warmer. So the health visitor advised getting one of these, and the midwife I think advised to get one of these. £5 from Tesco, absolute bargain, does what it says on the tin. So yeah, I would always say you can get any one you want, but at Tesco for £5, this one's been brilliant. Need a bath and room thermometer. And then also going along the lines of bath, we have this, I'm not going to get in the frame, this bath support. Now this is an Angelcare bath support here. It's brilliant. So you pop this in the bath like this, and you put your baby in here, and baby sits up and is nicely supported. This is like silicone-y, so it's really good. It's really easy to wash, which is great. I think they're about £10 online. We got ours second hand, so if you look about, you can probably get them second hand as well. We got them second hand from a friend who is selling theirs. And what it's got here, which is quite handy, I don't know if you can see, it's got a, oh, right at the top, you probably can't see that, but there's a maximum and minimum, a maximum level line here. So when you're filling your bath up, you're putting this in the bath, you know that you can't go over that line there for baby. So we use this every bath. We used it every bath for Holly, we use it every bath for Lily. It's just really good, it's really easy, and Lily loves her baths. So I'm wondering if that's because we've got the right temperature of the bath now, and Holly hates the bath maybe because it was too cold, but now with this bad boy we know what we're doing. Yeah, and this is a really good little bath support, it's fantastic. So that's some really good tips for bath things. You can probably get different supports as well, obviously you can, but this one was just I think this is quite a popular one. It's not that expensive, £10, or like I say, go online and get a second-hand one, give it a good clean, and you're good to go. Okay, so the last two things I want to talk about are apps that I have been using on my phone. The first one has been the baby tracker. Breastfeeding and any kind of feeding, you need to keep a track on when they're feeding and how often they're feeding. And also I find this is really handy because midwives and health visitors will ask you, and because they'll chat to you about it, or how often she's feeding, blah, 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 blah. And if you don't know, it's a bit tricky to keep track on things. This app is really good. Now, I haven't used, now look, it says Baby Eye on it rather than Lily, because she didn't actually have a name for the first couple of days. And you can put a little photo up there as well, but I can't figure out how to change that to her actual name now, so it's just Baby Eye on there. It's got a little bit, you can see here, this is for feeding, then you've got nappy change down here, you've got her sleep there, and then also if you're going to pump, it will keep a track on how much you're pumping. I don't use the nappy change because I just think you've got enough things to do rather than keep using an app for things. The only thing I used it for was her feeding to start with. Then she started getting tricky with her naps in the day, and for a newborn she actually wasn't sleeping very much in the day, and so I thought, right, I'm going to keep a track on exactly when she's sleeping so I can see if we're getting into some kind of routine and some kind of pattern. So I do use the sleep now. I don't know if you can see that it actually says that she's asleep right now. It says she's sleeping. And it says that she nursed, so she fed about an hour ago. And it will actually tell me in which breast I last fed on. So if you can see there, it says she fed for 10 minutes on the left breast. So I know that I've got to go to the right one next when she feeds. So many things to think about when you have a newborn. Your head is all over the place. If you've got an app that can think for you, for example, which boob to feed from next, then it's worth its weight in gold, and it was free. What you then do is you click into that. If you're going to use this for feeding, click into nursing. You can either do nursing or formula as well, so it will keep a track on if you're formula feeding. If you press formula, then you pop in exactly how many meals that you're giving them and what time, and that keeps a track of what you're giving them. And then if you press nursing, you've got the option to choose your left or your right breast and press play, and then the time will start ticking away on which breast you're using for feeding, and then you just press stop when you finish feeding. So I often forget to stop, but I know she roughly feeds between 7 to 10 minutes. Okay, then if you click in review up here at the top here, it will give you this. So it will give you a track of exactly how many times she's fed and slept in the day, and then it will show you all down there what she's been doing, what she's been up to. It was really good. This was really good for the start when I was feeding, because she was sleeping quite a lot at night. She was sleeping for like 5-6 hours at night, and I was a bit like, oh, I think she should be up feeding. And the midwife basically said, as long as she's getting 8 to 12 feeds in a 24-hour period, it's fine. If she wants to sleep through the night, then let her sleep. So this told me straight away how many times she's fed. Yeah, there's loads of different apps that you can use, so your choice. But for me, the baby tracker was free, and it does what it says on the tin with everything, so it's really useful. The other thing I use, now I know there's quite a lot of controversy with this, but I found this app really helpful with Holly, and it's the Wonder Weeks app. So newborns go through different leaps at different stages of their lives, and that's when they might be fussy, cranky, feed more, they'll go through a growth spurt. And as a new mum, all this app helped me to do. I didn't get hooked on it. I didn't take too much notice of it. When I found what I was doing was when she was getting cranky, this is Holly, our first, and I was losing it a bit and thinking, what am I doing? Why can't I settle her? What is wrong with me as a mum? I can't figure out what I'm doing wrong. I would just pop on here, and then I'd be like, oh, okay, she's going through a leap. And when they go through a leap, it means this. It's they're learning the next stages in their lives. Their brain is developing that little bit more, and their brain is developing to focus on extra things, or think about sensations, or hearing the outside world, or and so everything is learning for them. And this app just confirmed to me that you're not a bad mum. You do know what you're doing. She's just going through this patch, and it may last this long, may last shorter, may last for a bit longer, but it's a phase and she will come out of it, and it just kept me a little bit sane. So the Wonder Weeks app, I think you have to pay for it, and I think it was something like $3.99 or something, but for sanity it really helped me. Lily is currently in leap 1, she's coming up to leap 2, and this is what it looks like when you kind of log into it. So in 4 days Lily is gonna be in leap 2. Her first leap, which she had not long ago, was Sensations, and it will tell you all about that leap and what she's learned and the signals. So she cried more, she was clingier, she was grumpier, she was poorly sleeping, she wanted to feed more often. So, and it then tells you what you've got coming up. You can change it to suit how you like. You can put it in a diary form. You can read about the leaps. If you go leaps at the bottom, you can read about which leap means what, which is quite handy. So like I say, I don't get hooked on it. I don't follow it religiously. I just like to know when I'm coming into a rocky phase, so that you can prepare mentally. You know, being a mum is really hard, and there are so many changes and there are so many phases. And nobody tells you about them when you're pregnant at all. Nobody tells you about the leaps, and nobody tells you about when they're having a growth spurt, because gosh, if you're breastfeeding and they have a growth spurt, oh my word, it's a killer. It's really hard work. And nobody tells you about it. So the Wonder Weeks app is really good for if you want to understand that a little bit more, what's going on in your baby's mind, how they're changing and when they're changing. It's just a really good app for that. So yeah, the one other thing I was going to mention, which I previously have mentioned, is the Manicure Set. Everybody, you will need a Manicure Set of some sort. Their nails, when they come out, are so sharp. So you'll need like little emery board to either file them down, or the little clippers if you're brave enough, or some people say, you know, nibble on their nails just to bite them off. But yeah, the Manicure Set's great. The one we've got, like I said, I've left it downstairs, so sorry about that, but it's the Tommee Tippee one. It was in Lidl for £9.99. I think it's usually £20. It's got, off the top of my head, it's got a little toothbrush in there for when she's old enough for her teeth. It's got a little soft bristle hairbrush, which for us is brilliant. We used it with Holly, and we're gonna use it obviously with Lily again, because they both had cradle cap. So Holly's cradle cap started on her eyebrows and went up into her head, and she had it for a long time. Lily's getting exactly the same. It's kind of going on her eyebrows now, but it's starting to come on her scalp. So what we'll do is we'll just be, at every bath time, we'll just brush her hair with that, and hopefully if the cradle cap is nice and soft, it will just come away. You can get stuff for cradle cap, but the health visit was like, the shampoos don't really work. You can put oil on, olive oil on at night, and then the next morning brush it out. So yeah, we'll use that for Lily. It also comes with the nail clippers that have got a really nice supportive handle on them, so they're quite easy to use. It's got emery boards in it. I think there's some nail scissors, and I think that's pretty much it. And it comes in a little handy case as well. Oh, thermometer. It's got a thermometer in. And it comes in a handy case, so you can just keep it in the nursery and you know where you are. So yeah, I think that kind of concludes everything that I think is absolutely essential, or that you would need. I'm sure there's loads of other things. Obviously there's baby grows, there's vests, there's nappies, there's wipes, but that's everybody's personal preference. I think people know generally about those things. I think the things I've maybe showed you are the things that possibly new mums don't think they might need, and you do. We are currently in lockdown number 3. It's February now when I'm filming this, and the light at the end of the tunnel is hopefully really soon, because the vaccine rollout is going really well in the UK. So I just wanted to send love to everybody as well at the end of this video and say I hope you're all keeping well. I don't know one person that hasn't suffered or struggled during this lockdown. So from me to you through my camera lens, I'm sending so much love, so much strength. Tomorrow is a new day. We will get through these things together, support each other, be kind to each other, and thank you for watching, and take care. Bye bye.